to do this, I might as well do it on stream and show it off to other people. My close. Well, okay, so I have changed some things around, and maybe I didn't get them changed right back into place. Yeah, it is very possible I'm a little closer because I'm further out from the closet. I hung up my my sound curtain, and so I'm hoping if I talk louder, I'm not as echoey and my audio comes in good. Speaking of which, I kind of want to do a quick audio check here. Check the levels, see where things are at. All right, this is me speaking. Hello. All right, this is me speaking loudly. Oh man, I'm not hearing any echo. This is me speaking very loudly. Oh, that is so good. All right, so now I'm going to face the other way and see if I get echo from not talking towards the sound curtain. This is me speaking loudly. I actually wasn't listening when I did that. This is me speaking loudly. Ooh, we got some peaking there. Okay. All that sounds good. The audio is just a smidge loud, at least right now. All right. Now, how is that? All right, I think that's good. Sweet. And let me check the YouTubes real quick, make sure we're good there, which we should be. I still haven't figured out how to find my vertical stream on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Yeah, I think we're good. Sounds great. Every stream, I get one step closer to being a real live streamer. All right, guys. As you may have guessed by the title, I have a specific goal in mind today. And I think the best way to show what I'm doing here I have a computer here right next to me. This is my old computer. This is the one I had been using prior to streaming. Well, when I first started streaming, it has been parts replaced and upgraded over the course of since before COVID. I think it started off with a Ryzen, 3 series, like a 3950 or something like that. And then I eventually upgraded it to a 5950. What am I running on my streaming PC? One sec. I am running a 9950 X3D for my streaming PC. So this is the older one. This, I think, is only running a 5950. But I have had to replace the NVMe, the solid state drive. So there's like an NVMe drive and like a 4 terabyte solid state drive in here that I was using to store games, that kind of thing. And then an old 2080 Ti Super, which is going to go to waste, sitting in here. But maybe I'll use it for something. I don't know. Currently, this system has Windows, so my plan is to nuke it and throw Ubuntu on it and run a bunch of like Docker services. So I'm not going full blown home lab setup because that's complicated and a little beyond what I'm going to be able to accomplish this stream. Maybe long term, if I keep wanting to build or like add services to this, maybe I'll look into using like, I don't know, Unraid or something like that. I'd have to do research to see what all the kids are using these days. But I have Wi-Fi card, and then this is the wireless KVM. So I'll be able to access this computer via browser. So it's not plugged into a keyboard or mouse. It's not plugged into a display. It's only plugged into this wireless KVM. This is the same KVM I was using for my Steam Deck. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Buffer. Use like throw an LLM on this at some point for sure. I could. I would be able to use the 2080. I have a what do I have? Oh my god. That's not a 2080 Ti. I was wrong and I apologize. The 2080 Ti is in my other computer. First world problems. Sorry. This is a 3090 Ti. An EVGA 3090 Ti. So I got this before EVGA went out of business or were like, hey, we're not doing GPUs anymore. I don't remember how much memory this graphics card has, but if I had to guess, it's probably like 20 or 30 gigs. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyway, I want to get Ubuntu installed on this and then look at getting a couple of Docker Git services up and running to host my Git repos. I don't know if you guys are aware, but it seems more and more AI is coming to steal your shit. And as much as I have enjoyed using AI to be more productive, there are some things that they are like taking. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I guess Twitch turned on like automatic opt-in Twitch to train off of chat and my live streams. And I think like everything in Twitch. So I discovered this like last night or something. I was just watching someone else's stream or a YouTube short or I was doom scrolling. Okay. Sorry, I was doom scrolling. So during my doom scroll, I came across other Twitch streamers who are like, hey, you need to turn this off, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, ooh, that's actually a good point. So yes, I went in and disabled that. Who knows if the companies are actually disabling it, right? How simple would it be for them to continue training off the data and then get caught and said, oh, we're sorry, there was a bug in our API, we never wired in the checkbox to an endpoint, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. The other issue I am running into is GitHub and their actions. I have had Awin and Briarthorn open source and source available publicly because it gave me free minutes for all of the jobs. Whereas private, I would only have 2, maybe 3,000 minutes a month. Here, I would have unlimited minutes and I would have significantly more power. Significantly more. I think the opens or like the public runners are maybe 4 cores, 16 gigs of RAM or something like that. This sucker is like 16 core, 32 thread, 64 gigs of RAM, NVMe solid state. It's about as fast as you're going to get when it comes to a runner. So basically unlimited power. Now, obviously there's a downside here, which is backup. If I lose power, if my house burns down, if a tornado comes and swipes everything away, then it's GG's. So I don't know what I would do yet for backup. Maybe I mirror it to GitHub and just choose GitHub as like my backup plan. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I know there's also like backup services like Backblaze, and I could always, if I'm honest, grab another like cheap computer. No computers are cheap these days, and like take it over to a parent's house or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But for today, because I only have a couple of hours, because I have to get off around 5 Eastern. I want to get Ubuntu installed, Docker installed, and I want to see if I can get a GitLab service up and running along with a GitLab runner to build some code, and we'll go from there. Is it possible? Yeah, it should be possible with Windows. I've done Docker on Windows all the time. Hell, all of my streams, anytime I'm doing Linux development, it's using Docker. It's just WSL. So that would be more like, you know, WSL enter. Oh, it's got to think. All right, so now I'm in Linux. If we wanted a different color, there. So now I'm in Linux, and in Linux, I can just do like Docker run hello. Is it hello world? Yep. So it pulled down a hello world Docker image and ran it. So you can run Docker on Linux. There's also Docker desktop, which can do it as well, but I think, at least commercially, that requires a paid license. And then I think even more recently, I don't know if it's in Windows yet, but there was an article or a video I watched a while back where you will be able to run Docker directly from the Windows terminal versus needing to do it inside WSL. And I think it might even be like WSL-D or C for container. And I think it's going to have very similar, if not exact same, command line arguments as Docker. We'll see. But yes, this is a long-winded way of saying it's time to install Linux. And I'm going to do it on this computer, but I'll have access to it via this wireless KVM, so I'll still be able to, you know, hop into it, build it, run games, code, that kind of thing. So let's get to it. Oh, real quick, guys, I want to show you something. So I talked about the sound curtain I got to help with my audio and how Trill was laying in the folded up version of it. Well, I got it hung up today just using one of those like extended shower curtain rods that you tighten up. This is under my desk. You might be upside down. That little twerp. That little twerp immediately sat on the curtain after I hung it up. So, if there is a loud kerbang or something, it's because he rolled on the curtain and yanked it down from my closet. Because I don't know if I can show you guys. So you can kind of see how the curtains are hung up. It's just a shower rod that is tightened to the closet. So one false roll from Trill and it's GG's. Hey Jan, how's it going? So how am I going to do this? How am I going to show you? I'm hoping I can do it via that wireless KVM. Let's give this a shot. Step 1 is a bootable USB with Rufus. And I've already downloaded the Ubuntu 2604 image. And I think I'm okay with leaving everything default here. Let's just start. Uh-oh. Rufus has found an updated version of the DBX files used to perform UEFI secure boot revocation checks. Do you want to download this update? Sure. The image you have selected is an ISO hybrid image. This means it can be written either in an ISO image mode or DD image, disk image mode. Rufus recommends using ISO image mode so that you always have full access to the drive after writing it. However, okay, yeah, whatever. Recommended's fine. Warning, all data on device, no label, will be destroyed. Actually, you know what? I didn't check to see what is on this. It's a BIOS update. It's just a BIOS update. Trying to. I built this computer back when you could afford RAM. Though the graphics card was still crazy expensive because this was back when crypto mining was like a huge thing. I did try crypto mining a while back using a 1080 and a 2080. I think I eventually ended up grossing $500, and I think I paid 70 something dollars in electricity to achieve that. The ISO size is like 5 gigs, 5 or 6 gigs. This is just a Ubuntu desktop. Mainly because that is what I am comfortable with and familiar with. And anytime there's an issue with Ubuntu, you just Google it and there's a solution. I don't even know if I'm assuming this will work with the wireless KVM. Yeah, I'm very used to Ubuntu because that's what I've also used professionally. Like usually for me in my area, if a company wants you to do work on Linux, they're giving you a laptop with Ubuntu on it. All right, I think that's done. I should probably eject it. No, I do want a desktop environment because I'm gonna with this wireless KVM right here. It's plugged in via HDMI to the graphics card, so I do want desktop, and then I'm just gonna pop into it in a browser on stream. Okay, so that's plugged in. So I need to restart the computer. I don't know. This is what I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do or not. I'm doing it off stream at the moment because I don't remember if I have any personal information showing. just to show you guys what I'm working with here. So I'm in a browser. So the wireless KVM is working. So this is what is on the computer behind me. Or Johnny Ive. Oh, is that the Apple engineer? I could only wish I could speak as eloquently as that man could. But anyway, I'm gonna try and restart the system and boot it up in the BIOS. Ooh, from the wireless KVM, I don't know if this will be possible. But I will sure give it a shot. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't there a command in Windows? Like you hold down shift or something while you restart? We'll try that. We'll try to restart it. It's going to update, of course. But I think if you hold shift while you do a restart on Windows, then it will relaunch Windows in a mode that will let you select the BIOS. Delete, backup. Oh, I was right. It restarted Windows in a different selection menu. Exit and continue to Windows 11. Turn off PC. Use a device. Use a USB. Wait, what does that say? Oh, maybe this is what I want. UEFI USB partition 1? Sure. No HDMI signal detected. Okay, so the computer's restarting. Oh, hey. Is this it? Try or install Ubuntu. That just enter. It's thinking. Okay, it's yeah, okay. I think we're good. I don't think I had anything important on that computer. I don't really keep anything important on the computers anymore. It's all applications. We're getting there. We're getting there. Ooh, this is gonna ask like location and stuff. Stand by. I mean, I'm Eastern time zone, so it's not like I'm hiding that. But I do want to set up username, password, all that fun stuff. Which this server is going to be self-contained within my home, so again, probably doesn't matter. But there are some crazy geniuses out there when it comes to hacking, and I don't trust y'all. Connect to a Wi-Fi network. I do need to enter this. I don't have the strongest wireless connection signal in this room. That connected? Install Ubuntu. Interactive installation, automated with a auto install file, automated with let's interactive. Oh, I can't read this. Browser. Offline friendly selection of office tools. I think I just want default. Proprietary software, probably do want. Download and install support for additional media formats. Yes. Install alongside Windows, erase disk, and install Ubuntu. Yeah, so I have a I have two NVMEs. Holy shit. So I'm gonna install it on the 1 TB, and then I guess the 4 TB will be for artifactories or like artifact storage. We don't need encryption, right? No one's gonna physically steal my computer. Funin. Computer name is Funin 5950X. I always. Oh god, you're already in? I haven't even figured out my passwords yet. This is something I've just always done is when I name a computer, I always postfix it with whatever CPU I have. Funin. All right. None of you steal this password. This is super secret. Is that set to show? No. Wait. Which? Oh no. Which one is it? Hello. Okay. Eastern time zone. That makes sense. I think that's fine. Password is Funin. Wait, do you guys hear Trill snoring? Hang on. I think the mic's picking it up. Might be filtering it. The dude is snoring. I'm gonna need to set this camera up to sit under the desk if this is gonna be his new spot. I need to get him back in the chair, but I don't know what it is about these sound curtains that he likes. I don't get it. Guess I could can I guess I could do something like this. It is like a desktop, right? Do I just full screen? Then ooh, but my vertical peeps don't get to see this. Hang on, this won't work. I forget there's my doom scrollers out there. Um I have no idea. I just grabbed whatever the latest Ubuntu was. They have a bunch of AI crap as well. Can I not? I mean, it's Linux though, right? At least I should be able to turn it off here or uninstall it even. And you know, I'm not opposed to this being my like testing phase of should I transition to streaming on Linux. My biggest concern is I have a bunch of monitors and my drawing tablet here that I would have to like test it to see if it'll work. Opt-in is so much better than opt-out. It's so dumb that everyone does opt-out by default. This should be Wayland. Pretty sure they are now Wayland by default. Cannot write log. Wayland's cool, but from like a application development perspective, it's a pain in the butt because it is so different than X11. Like, now I know a lot of the common graphic APIs I think provide a solution for this now, such as like GLFW, SDL. But early on, when I was doing like window creation, I would never have a window decoration. I wouldn't have like the title bar or the border around the window. Turns out, Wayland expects you to handle that. And so eventually I discovered that there is a library called libdecor. I think it's libdecor that you can use to provide decorations back to your windows. If I actually was to switch to Linux for streaming, I probably would try something other than Ubuntu. I did very briefly. I did try. Oh, I forget what it was called. Navarro, Navarro. Nobara Linux. Is that it? Yeah, I tried Nobara Linux, and I don't I don't know why, but every time I booted my computer, my 4K Dell monitors wouldn't turn on. I would have to manually turn the monitor off and turn it back on for the display signal to be acknowledged to show up on the monitor. And that was a pain in the butt. And so I was like, I give up and I'm swapping back. Since then, I have discovered that it might be the monitors, because I think I had some issues with them on Windows as well. I'm still using one of them. So the vertical stack monitor that I have for my live stream here on the left, it's 4K. And then I use in front of me, I use the 1440 OLED and another 1440 OLED. And the OLEDs work just fine. I've heard about Catchy OS. I know that was a big one that kept getting brought up during the Linus Tech Tip videos. I've kept a pulse on that conversation. Oh my god. The Matrix Reloaded soundtrack is probably one of my favorite soundtracks ever for a movie. That and Mission Impossible 2. I also wouldn't be opposed to doing something like Fedora. I'm a huge fan. I don't, after I just complained about stability, I'm when I'm using Linux, I prefer the latest and greatest when possible. I don't like waiting for stability to get access to the new stuff. I have never used Arch Linux. I remember, like, so just personal background here. I have been using Linux off and on since I was a kid. Um, and it used to be that I was the kid in the family that would wipe the family computer clean with a oh man. This is back in the day of dial-up and AOL.com. I had access to a tool on a little 3.5 inch floppy drive that would zero out your hard drive. So you run it and it just turns all of the bits to zeros on your hard disk. So I would do that because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world that you can just cause the hard drive to be like nothing was ever there. And so I would do that and then I would install Ubuntu. But we didn't have bootable flash drives back then. You had to download the ISO and burn it to a disk and then, pop the disk in and install it. So I've been doing that for years. Now, did I get in trouble when my parents found out I did it? A little bit, but I did it. And Arch Linux back then, because I've been aware of Arch Linux for a long time, that just felt out of reach to me because you had to, like, at least back then, I don't know if it's gotten easier, but you kind of had to know what you were doing. You had to know like what desktop environment you wanted, what tools you needed, because you could customize your Linux. And that was kind of beyond me at that point. And so I've never really given Arch Linux a try. Hey, Timmy, thank you. I really appreciate you stopping by and saying that. That actually means a lot. I'm always worried that I'm wasting my time and wasting everyone else's time, but anytime I'm writing some C++ and it's a conversation I'm used to having with like a junior developer that I'm working with, I'm like, "Oh, this might be useful for other people to know because sometimes you're just not thinking about it." Or maybe I will discover my own, like, other ways of doing it through the comments people leave. Hopefully, nice comments. What does this say? Please remove the installation media and then press enter. All right, so I need to installation media removed. Enter. Hey, base. How's it going? Basai? Base? Bass? Ass? No, wait, aren't the kids calling it ah now? I really appreciate that, Timmy. Oh god, do we remember what my password was? Did we say it was funnin' or trill? I mean, come on. I love technology. I have always had, like, I've always kept up with social media for the most part. I don't really do TikTok. I don't do Instagram. Um I don't do any of the photo messaging. I don't do okay, so maybe I haven't kept up that much. I don't do Facebook anymore. I stopped Facebook years ago. What do we got here? What do we got here? Welcome to Ubuntu. Cool, cool. Let's keep location services off for now. Ubuntu gets enough help. They don't need mine. Dark mode, of course. Ooh, but what's my accent color? The green? No, it's blue, right? Do I keep it on theme with the channel? Get started with more applications. Nah. Oh yeah, if I made shorts. I started to do like all the YouTube shorts I was doing. I was also posting them to TikTok. And they, they're getting a couple hundred views. And then after like the first week or so, they got 0 views. And I was like, oh, TikTok has nothing to do with me. And anytime I like went to the TikTok website to upload a video, I was scared. It was just like AI generated weirdness all over the place. And it's like, oh, this is idiocracy. I can't do this. So maybe if I had a more trendy type of YouTube short, maybe if I eventually get an editor who knows what they're doing, maybe I can start posting there again. Okay, now that I'm in the desktop here, I need to make it bigger. I can't see. My old man eyes. We need to change the scaling. There's usually like a DPI setting or something where you can increase it by like 100 or 200%. I'm not seeing it. If I do, oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't like that. It's Windows is eating my window button as well as Ubuntu. This is also blurry. This might not be the best solution. I might need to do like remote desktop or something. Pin to dock. I gotta think about this. What's a bet? Is there a better way to? I have it set to lossless. It's set to 1440. Best picture quality. Original pixel. Ooh, ooh. This is what I want. Oh, check that out. Okay, hang on. We're getting there. Except this is too big. I still want to be able to show this off to my vertical viewers. Thanks, Aravinda. Appreciate it. This is Naruto, isn't it? Yep, Naruto theme. Let me change. That's what was happening. I think it's like, let me change the resolution, maybe? Oh, it's thinking. There we go. Okay, it's shrunk. So maybe I just set this to like 720. Oh no, does it not let me? I don't really want to mess with that. I could do 800 by 600. That would fit in a. I mean, most of the time I'm probably going to be doing what was I saying? Terminal. You know what? Let's do this. Vertical doesn't need to see everything. Vertical just needs to see this. There we go. All right. Sudo apt update. Sudo apt upgrade. BNC server, huh? I don't know if that's something I've ever done. Now I wonder if I can. Do I just do a full screen? Check it out. All right, guys, there you go. I am officially a Linux streamer. Actually, wait a minute. Why can't you see everything? No, so this is step one. Step one was getting Linux on my desktop. Step two is getting an updated version of Docker daemon running. And then I need to go to probably Docker Hub and download GitLab because I want to run and host GitLab from this computer as well. And on top of that, create a GitLab runner. I don't know if that can also be ran as Docker because the GitLab runner itself needs to run Docker. So now we're talking Docker and Docker setup, which can get complicated, or at least it used to be really complicated. Maybe GitLab has made it easier, not sure. And then I want to take the repo that I had started working on with the C++ strings and move it over and host it and see if I can get stuff up and running. Now, I don't know if I'll have enough time today to do all of that, but we'll see. I am watching a friend's kid here in a couple hours, so I'll have to hop off by then. I have heard of Forjo. I don't know enough about it to know if I can get it set up and like do the runners and stuff. I'm not opposed to it. It's just GitLab is what I am used to because it's what I've done professionally, and so I know how to navigate its services easier, and I know how to do the YAML files. Because isn't Forjo the is it the back end of Codeberg? Isn't that what like a lot of people are swapping to now? Yeah, Codeberg. I mean, that might be worth exploring. Um, so maybe I'll use GitLab now just because it's what I'm familiar with to verify I can get these Docker services running. And then if that goes well, maybe I'll look into swapping to Forjo and learning about it. Because I'm not opposed to it. I know even GitLab is doing their own AI stuff. Yeah, you want the specs? The specs of this system, which is sitting behind me right here. This guy, you might be able to see it if you squint your eyes. Look, check it out. That is a EVGA GeForce RTX 3090 Ti. Oops, I lost access to the drag handle. Stand by. I gotta do this. But yeah, so that's a EVGA 3090 Ti. I think it has a 5950X with two 32 gigabyte sticks of RAM. Now, keep in mind, I've had this computer since, gosh, I think the first GPU I bought for this computer was a 1080 Ti, and I have since continued to upgrade the parts when things break down. So it's at least the case is old. The hard drives are newer, the RAM's newer, but all of this was bought before the AI hardware boom. The GPU is probably better than the GPU I'm currently using for streaming, but because I have the AMD, I don't know, whatever the top of the line AMD GPU is, which I've found to be a little more useful for multi-streaming and recording at the same time. That's what I'm working off of, and kind of why I'm doing this. I have this tower I'm not really using right now, and so I needed something to do my software builds. Okay, so we are updated, we are upgraded. Let's get to Docker. Before you install Docker, make sure you consider the following security implications and firewall incompatibilities. Requires Ubuntu. Set up Docker apt repo. Is there a new Firefox? Did I miss it? So I already did the apt update. Get our certificates and curl. I'm not a I'm always annoyed by the welcome pages and home pages of browsers, so it's become such a habit for me to just close it immediately, even when there's like updates, because I use Chrome typically, and even Chrome will like open up a new tab to let you know there's updates, and it's just such a habit to close it. Probably just I forget I'm not actually running Linux. I'm doing this through that the KVM browser. And so it's not quite as low latency as if you were actually on the system. So like okay, so if I was actually on Linux, can I do this? Ooh, I can. Okay. Okay, Linux. I see you. More security updates through Ubuntu Pro with ESM apps enabled. What the hell is Ubuntu Pro? Are they advertising in my terminal? Hmm. Yeah, if I the like I am really close to being ready to leave Windows. It's honestly the ads. That's the biggest thing. The little pop-ups you get in the corner now. Like, "Hey, have you considered buying this?" Um we installed it, so I think we're good to see it's properly installed. Sudo docker run hello world. Success. All right, we have Docker installed. Trying to decide if I need to add a user to a Docker group so I don't need sudo every time, but I'm probably okay to just. I think I am. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ubuntu has kind of always been the corporate version of Linux, other than obviously Red Hat. And Ubuntu makes use of non-open source or proprietary technologies, which a lot of Linux diehards have a problem with, which I get it. I am by no means an open source like diehard. I think it's awesome. Uh it's just not a part of my day-to-day life to stress about. Okay, so now I need Docker Hub, GitLab. I don't even know if GitLab still. Let's see, GitLab CE, which is Community Edition. 100 million plus downloads. Holy moly. We don't monitor the comments here. And there's probably. I'm probably going to need to set up a mount or a volume. And I don't know if I ever formatted my data drive. Yeah, so I still have data from my Windows system here. Like I still have World of Warcraft installed, which honestly, I bet I could connect this to Steam and it would probably just run. I bet it would just run without doing anything else. Maybe I leave that there. Oh, at least you were in a VM. That's one lesson I learned early on as a kid when I was doing all of these operating system reinstalls was to always have a second data drive no matter what. So even if you are like even if your operating system goes down, you can still recover data potentially. Um so I don't think I need I think I will create a GitLab folder here for storage. I I would absolutely play World of Warcraft on stream. Especially like these days, I don't play nearly like I did a little bit of retail. I'm not a big fan of retail. Um, these days, every once in a while, I hop on and play vanilla hardcore. I think that's kind of what I enjoy now. And I am anxiously awaiting September 12th, which is BlizzCon, anxiously awaiting the news of what the next iteration of WoW is going to be. I hope. And if that happens, now we're talking. But honestly, from a gaming perspective, there's really only one thing I'm really looking forward to, and that is Divinity from Larian Studios, the guys that made Baldur's Gate 3. You better believe I will play the shit out of that game. Okay, so I'm going to use GitLab as my storage. I don't necessarily know how to set up the Docker image. We can at least pull it. Permission denied. Says Jensen Impact. This is Genshin Impact main theme. Not sure what that is. Oh god. I apologize. Monster went down the wrong pipe. This is not a bad look, Monster. I still like you. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, Monster will not choke you out. I just can't drink. I feel like I've heard of Genshin Impact. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I've heard of it. It honestly, it sounds like a I don't know, like a Korean game of some kind. All right, download newer image for GitLab CE. That's good. So now I need to figure out what the port number is. Oh, is it Chinese? Okay, well there you go. This isn't help. GitLab run as Docker container. Need to know like port. Quick start with Docker compose. Here we go. Run detach. Oh, is this how I do it? You just specify. So I guess do I not have my data folder counted by media /run/media? Still coughing up monster. All right, so GitLab home, I think is what I want. Perfect. Okay. So now let's try and run a GitLab server via Docker here. I think it's just doing this thing. Host name gitlab.example.com. Ooh, can I just define my own host name? Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I mean, I'm not exposing this in my firewall, so this should be fine. Don't you dare try and go to my website. We'll do gitlab.funinsoftware.com, I guess. Name GitLab, restart all. Shared memory size. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's find out what happens. Don't you do it, guys. Don't you do it. What is it? GitLab.funinsoftware.com. GitLab.funinsoftware.com. Server not found. Do I need to specify the port? Let me try localhost. Localhost 443. This song is a Silent Hill 2 song. Another game I never really played. I've always been aware of. I really liked the Silent Hill movie, but it's not a game I played. I didn't grow up with like PlayStation. I think it was a PlayStation game to start with. I may have to allow this out of my desktop, maybe? I am not a networking expert by any means, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's other things I need to do, like allow traffic in and out of these ports. I would have expected local host to. Honestly, this is where an AI helper would be useful. Let's see here. Can I continue this conversation? I ran the Docker run detach command, but I am unable to access my GitLab instance via hostname. I also tried localhost 443, but that didn't do it. It might be 22. check if oh, check if GitLab is booting. Docker PS, of course. Oh, here we go. Maybe it's 80. Localhost 80. Let me try that. There it is, guys. I have GitLab. I don't have an account. Are you telling me that I can't even provide a crappy password to my own instance? Crap. It needs to be. Okay, let's try that. You have signed up successfully. However, we could not sign you in because your account is awaiting approval from your GitLab administrator. I'm the GitLab administrator. Um, what would the default admin username and password be for GitLab? Yes, that was Last of Us. Yet another game I have never played. What is default admin username and password for GitLab? There is no default password. GitLab randomly generates a unique password during the container's first boot. You must retrieve this password directly from your container's configuration files. Run the following command in your terminal. All right, well, before I do that, let me see if I can access GitLab on another system. GitLab dot funin software colon. Right, let's try. Localhost isn't going to work because localhost is just for your local computer. Oh, I need the IP address of my computer. I'm gonna hide this down here real quick. Okay, there we go. So 192.168. Oh, come on. Boo. I mean, fair. So I don't have it on the network, or I'm on the wrong. Man, what a pain. Ooh, or am I using the wrong IP address? Hang on. That was iNet. Let's see. That's the virtual Ethernet. Oh. Surely it's not that. Let me try 172. I don't think it's this. Surely not. I might have to expose ports, yes. But I mean, all of this is on the same network. So I'm not 100% sure. What I don't want to do is maybe it's maybe it's this one. I don't want to forward it in to the internet. I don't want to forward it publicly. I just want to kind of keep it on my network. 192.168.50. Aha! All right. So I can access this on my network. So that's good. So now I need to find the password. And the only way to do that, it looks like, is I have to get inside the container. Okay. Copy that exact string to log in. What's the username? What is the username? Root. All right, we are in. Create your first project. Group name, Funin Software. Software. Project name. Ooh. Oh. So I've been thinking, at least for Pong, at least for like going over C++ stuff, I still want like just a general project that I can hop on every now and then and write some C++, which is what the that string serialization library was, which is what I'm going to move into this. And I think I might call it Spire. It's a blank project. It's localhost. Maybe someday I can use like Cloudflare to point a domain name, which I already own. I already own Fun and Software. Point it to my server here. That way I'm not like exposing my own IP address. So maybe I can configure it to do that at some point, and then I can still have this project be open source. And then all you have to do is go to gitlab.funandsoftware.com to look at it /aspire. But for now, it'll be local to my network for me, by me. So HTTP localhost /funandsoftware aspire. I think I'm okay with that. Continue. Set up your profile. Oh. Maybe this is what I do then. Funin. Spirit. Runnin. Email. Funin@funinsoftware. Funin Software is the organization name. Accessible to anyone who has hacked me. That's fair. Email has already been taken. Dang it, because I signed up. Gosh darn it. That's annoying. I'm gonna have to delete myself from my own server. Let's do business. Okay. Hey, Michael, how's it going? All right, so how do I delete me from my own server that I set up? Oh, admin. Total users. New users. Check the restriction for new users. My GitLab instance allows anyone to register, which is a security risk. Acknowledge. No, I want to deactivate. I'll check the restrictions for new. Deactivate. That's the other issue. I will have to go through all of this to make sure you guys can't just like hop in and screw stuff up. Not that you guys would, but random people, bots. So what do I do? Go away. Firefox. I don't go. There. Allows anyone to register. So how do I when I say I am familiar with GitLab, I'm familiar with using it more than administering it. VS Code extensions. That's kind of cool. Customer experience improvement, source graph. Just, sign in right here. Sign in restrictions. Allow password, passkey authentication. How do I say don't? Direct non-authenticated users to this page. Page URL. Funin software. That's probably not. Well, yeah, that's probably fine. I need tables. New user account. Here we go. Allow new user accounts. False. Require admin approval for new user accounts. True. Email configuration settings off. Domain deny list. Enable domain deny list for new users. Let's save this. All right, good enough for now. Web IDE single origin fallback is enabled. Your GitLab instance serves VS Code static assets if the Web IDE extension host domain is unreachable. To prevent high severity security risks, disable the single origin fallback and ensure that the extension host domain is accessible. Okay. Whatever. This is all local. All right, users. I need to take care of my own sign up I did. Oh, sorry, Michael. I just saw your question. I am working on standing up a local Linux server running GitLab to host my code and also do software pipelines. So sitting behind me here is my older desktop PC with a 5950X, I think, with 64 gigs of RAM, a few terabytes of storage. And so I'm hooking up Linux or installing Linux on it. And then right here is a wireless KVM. So I am connected in a web browser here to do Linux. So I can exit full screen, and I'm actually on Windows right now, but accessing that box behind me via a browser. And so now I'm trying to, I have the GitLab server running, but now I'm doing a little bit of administrative work to get set up. I do want admin to be different than my actual user. So how do I allow new user account restrictions? Any user that visits website can create an account. No. But I should be able to still create an account for the user. So how do I approve users? This? Fun and dev. God, all right, gotta figure that out. I need to approve this. Do I approve? Am I blind? You cannot impersonate a blocked user. Oh, they're blocked? Approve. Approve. All right, there we go. So I should now be able to. Ooh, I should probably change my password because I'll forget it otherwise. Cool. Enable single origin fallback. Serve VS Code static assets from GitLab instance if the extension host domain is unreachable. Are they saying that's a security issue? Prevent high severity security risks. Disable the single origin fallback. Okay. Whatever. Probably not going to use that all that much. Okay. So now that that is good, I should be able to sign into my developer account. And I need to get added to the project I already created. Projects, groups, fun and software, manage, members, invite as a owner, maintainer. Is that going to be annoying? It's just me. Maintainers cannot delete. Yeah, you're going to be annoying. Or fun and dev. Byte. I should be able to sign out. Fun and dev. Sign in. Oops. Fun and software. All right. Step 1 is complete. Now, I need to maybe get some code on here. And then I need to stand up a runner. So I guess let's see if I can access this site from my Windows system here. Except if I'm doing this, I'm usually doing it through VS Code. Uh 192.168.50.6. It redirected me. That's hilarious. Let's try that again. 192.168.50.6:80. Did I already screw this up? Where was that? Homepage URL. Direct non-authenticated users. Oh. Maybe I don't understand what that is. Let's try this again. 192.168.50.6:80. Okay, there we go. Fun and dev. Totally remember what my password is. Okay. Projects. Oop. Oops. All right. I'm in. So I will eventually need to sign into GitLab because I can get some GitLab extensions for VS Code and have it and see if I can get it to sign in. But I might need to hook this up to like funandsoftware.com So that way I have gitlab.fundandsoftware.com. In the meantime, though, I have a Git repo here. Oh, man. It's going to be tricky. Because I need an access token. Most likely. In order to hook all this up. Let's try... Just see if I have GitLab. Authenticate to GitLab instant. Manually enter URL 192.168.50.6:8. Must begin with create a token. Opens the settings page to create a token or enter an existing token. I was hoping it would do like a OAuth. Open. Press enter. Oh, it did it. It did it on a standby. Enter. API unauthorized. Can't add GitLab account for. Is your token valid? You? I literally just created a token. Create token. I'll do a legacy token. Maybe I accidentally caused it to expire. We'll do a year from now. API. Let's give it a name. This is going to be, I don't know, GitLab guest code. Generate token. Copy. Authenticate. Enter existing token. Paste. Enter. Okay, that worked. All right. So now that is connected, can I push this up? Will create a new repository, push an existing folder, configure the Git repo, push an existing Git repository, Git remote, Copilot Git, what? Git remote rename, origin, old origin. Ooh, I don't know if gitlab.fundandsoftware.com works right. Maybe I should work on that. Git push set stream. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. Let's try. .192.168.50.6. This all goes to hell as soon as I lose power and a new IP address is assigned to this tower. Unless I don't know if Ubuntu assigns like, or I don't know if like a static IP is assigned to this by default or if there's some configuration I need to do. What is software? remote already exists, so I gotta do a rename again. Crap, I didn't do a port. I don't know if that'll work. Are you kidding me? Ensure the repository remote URL is using HTTPS or see HTTPS unsafe remotes about how to allow unsafe remotes. Oh my god, this is why I don't recommend you hosting your own stuff unless you know what you're doing. It's a pain in the butt. And then you are responsible for your own availability, uptime. What would it take to wire my server into Cloudflare? How dangerous is it? Host a server on-prem at my. I am going to. Actually, probably just do it. Ask my friend Claude. What would it take? Let's give it some context. I am currently hosting a GitLab CE instance at 192.168.50.6. I would I also own the Funin software domain via cloud. What would it take to host this instance at gitlab.funinsoftware.com? What are the risks for public access? I'm assuming I would have to port forward, like make sure this IP address is static on my local network, port forward this out of my router, and then wire up that port with my home IP address into Cloudflare. I'm guessing. Good news, you already own the two hardest pieces, the domain and Cloudflare. So this is very doable. The short answer, use a Cloudflare tunnel rather than port forwarding. Ooh. And unless you specifically need anonymous public access, put Cloudflare access in front so the DNS name is public, but the instance isn't. No port forwarding, no exposed home IP, works behind CGNAT. In Cloudflare's Zero Trust dashboard, Networks Tunnels, create a tunnel and install Cloudflare D on a machine on your LAN. The GitLab hosts itself or any box that can read the IP address. It makes outbound only connection. Oh, cool. So it's going to use a Cloudflare D service to create that tunnel. That way I don't have to expose my network. It makes outbound only connections to Cloudflare at a public domain route. Okay, so if I understand correctly, that means, now obviously you're leaning on Cloudflare for the security, but only Cloudflare can talk to my box. No one else will be able to. Add a public hostname route to my IP address. Cloudflare creates the DNS record automatically and terminates TLS at the edge. Tell GitLab about its new identity in the configuration. External URL, https gitlab.funandsoftware.com. TLS terminates at Cloudflare. GitLab keeps listening on plain HTTP internally. Then GitLab CTL reconfigure. Without the external URL change, clone URLs, redirect, OAuth callbacks will all point at the wrong. Caveats. Git over SSH doesn't pass through it. Either standardize on HTTPS remotes or add a second tunnel hostname for SSH that clients reach via Cloudflare access. Oh my god. This is beyond my expertise. Large pushes over HTTPS can hit Cloudflare's approximate 100 megabyte per request body limit on the free plan. Relevant if you push big file. Ooh, this could actually be an issue. Option 2, DNSA record plus port forwarding. Traditional route, a record for GitLab, your public IP, forward 44. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. Let GitLab's built-in encrypt handle certs. If you proxy through Cloudflare, you hide the IP for HTTP, but port 22 still has to be exposed directly. I'd only pick this if SSH native cloning is non-negotiable. It's not. Risks of public access. GitLab is one of the most scanned self-hosted apps on the internet, and this instance would be a doorway into your homeland. The main risks. Known CVE exploitation. So that means it's on me to make sure I'm keeping my server regularly updated. So that's a burden. That's a maintenance burden. GitLab ships critical security patches on a regular cadence, and unpatched instances get mass exploited within days. Yeah, that's kind of the problem, and this is something I've observed with my own like websites, is it just gets hit constantly. Thousands upon thousands of requests. And I know I haven't done anything that interesting on my websites for like thousands and thousands of people to visit and continuously visit. So that's clearly all of the like web crawlers, the bots, AI training at this point. That would be on me to kind of keep my box safe from that. A compromise lands inside your local area network. GitLab runs, so RCE there gives an attacker a foothold next to everything else on your network. Ideally, put it on an isolated VLAN DMZ. Yeah, that can't reach my other devices. So basically, I'd almost want, I'd almost want like a separate network. Maybe from my ISP. Middle path you'd recommend. If this is for you rather than the anonymous public, combine the tunnel with Cloudflare access and access policy on gitlab.funandsoftware.com requiring login means attackers never reach GitLab's login page or any of its attack surface. Scanners hit Cloudflare's wall instead. You get the convenience of a real domain with almost none of the public exposure risk. Even if some projects must be truly public later, you can scope access policies to protect /admin and sign-in path. Whatever you choose, take regular GitLab backup dumps and copy them off the host so a compromise or disk failure isn't fatal. Want me to? Yeah. So, at the end of the day, if you are actually trying to ship code, don't do it this way. Or you're a company and you're paying people to manage this for you. Now the question becomes, what do I want to do? This might be a little much. I could still use GitLab, like actual GitLab.com, but then just use my box here as a runner. That's really what I want to get out of this, is a more powerful runner with unlimited minutes. I could I assume I could also do GitHub because that's what I think most people are used to. So I could still use GitHub to host everything. But I have never set up a GitHub runner before. So I assume it's not any different really. The only downside there, I would have to make sure the repository is set up in such a manner that only my changes or pushes could invoke the runner. I don't know what it is today, but I'm assuming because, for instance, Awin and Briarthorn, because it's public, I'm assuming any of you could create a branch. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Or fork a branch and make some changes and maybe cause GitHub's runners to run. I wouldn't want to do that. I would only want it to run for me. But that's like Awin, Briarthorn, that's kind of specifically open on purpose. If I have another idea, another project idea, which I probably don't necessarily need to be open. But I would still want you to have access to some of the C++ I talk about. Still want unlimited minutes. Maybe that's what I do, is I set up my tower as a runner. Yeah, that's kind of the struggle. I don't think I need it exposed to the public, but the issue is, at least currently, if I show off C++ while streaming and I talk about it and, I get YouTube shorts out of it and we have C++ conversations, inevitably someone's going to come in and say, "Hey, this is awesome. Can I look at the code myself? Like, can I use it?" I'm like, I want to share it with you guys. But then I'm risking exposing my home network if I post GitLab or GitHub or Forge Joe. If I host that myself, like, I'm not a security expert. I don't have all the time in the world to maintain and keep things updated, keep my network safe. So I think what I do then is I use GitLab.com or GitHub. I have to look into GitHub. And then I can use this to be my runner. And the other thing that I run into, the other issue I run into with GitHub, for instance, is artifact storage. I'm limited by how much I can store. So I might be able to use this for that as well. I don't know. The big thing is, though, just runner minutes. Or I don't expose it. I leave it as is right now. And anytime someone says, "Hey, this is awesome. Can I see the code?" I just flip them off. I give them the big old middle finger. Say, "No, it's mine. You can't have it." What does it take to okay, let's do this. This seems more of a risk than I am willing to personally take on. That being said, I could still use my server as a CI/CD runner. I am familiar with standing up GitLab runners, but I have not done this for GitHub. Does GitHub support self-hosted runners free of charge. And then obviously the other risk is, does GitHub runners train on your shit as well? I don't even know what Tailscale is. I'd have to look into that. Like I said, this is not my realm of expertise. And and as much as I hate it, like, GitHub still has an appeal because everyone uses it. Everyone has an account. Well, I say everyone, but anyone who cares to has a GitHub account, probably. And so it's just a larger user base. Or I just don't care. I haven't figured out if I care yet. Yeah, self-hosted runners are free on every GitHub plan, including free personal accounts. GitHub only bills minutes for their hosted runners. Didn't I read somewhere that GitHub was starting to charge people for self-hosted runners? I thought I read. Oh. GitHub runners charging. Maybe it was GitHub was charging for self-hosted runners on like cloud servers. Here it is. GitHub postponed its controversial plan to charge a fraction of a cent per minute platform fee for private repository self-hosted runners after receiving intense user backlash. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. So currently, they're not charging. Man, I don't know. That makes me not want to use GitHub runners. Does GitLab and GitHub still? What am I trying to ask? It's the artifact storage. I don't necessarily like. Obviously, the job artifacts would be local to my computer, but it's more the long-term artifacts. The container registry. I think it has limits. Can I use my runners to also host registries with these services? The runner itself can't. Yeah, that's what I thought. Part of the SaaS package. GitHub Packages lives on GitHub's cloud. What you can self-host on the same server, your existing GitLab CE already includes a... Yeah. The reasonable end state, code on GitHub, CI on your server via the actions runner, images pushed to your LAN-only GitLab registry. Could do all that. I could do all of that. So, I'm not opposed to trying the Cloudflare tunnel, I guess. But, I mean, at the end of the day, this is kind of just for fun. I can't realistically use a self-hosted server for stuff I want to actually, like, live long. I mean, I could. I just don't know if I want to spend the time and effort. I got a full-time job trying trying to get a little more active and also stream and come up with ideas. I don't have enough time in a day to do everything. Yeah, so I think I am convincing myself to still use GitLab or GitHub, but then try a personal runner. Let's do that. I should be able to do that pretty quickly. Step one, though, is maybe I just stick to GitHub since I'm already have GitHub. What does it take to stand up a GitHub runner? Uh-oh. Did I lose my signal? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna tuck this behind me here just in case. I'm gonna sign into GitHub real quick. GitHub.com. Factor authentication. It's from Bass. Song sounds very familiar, but I don't know Bastion. Okay, so how do I something else just occurred to me. I don't have a Mac or a Windows run. What was the point of this stream? I went and did all this, and now I'm convincing myself that there's better options. So now I need to find a use for this. I mean, I guess I could still have use this system for Linux runners. So I could, make use of GitHub for builds, but then use this for all of the extra scanning. So static analysis, Clang Tidy. Clang Tidy takes up a lot of processing. So there's a lot of stuff I could still do with this server. And I've also thought about doing standing up like a pie hole to get ads out of my home. You can host your own runners, customize the environment used to run jobs in your GitHub action workflow. A self-hosted runner is a system that you deploy, manage, execute jobs from GitHub actions on GitHub. Self-hosted runners give you more control over hardware, blah, blah, blah. You can use self-hosted runner anywhere in the management hierarchy. Set up a runner in your workspace. See adding self-hosted runners. Oh, Jan, my original goal was to stand up a GitLab server to host my own repository for a C++ project. Just for fun. So anytime I'm streaming and I want to just do some C++ and be able to talk about it, I wanted a place to put it, but I have an idea for a project that I haven't really talked about, and I'm probably not going to for a minute because I've got enough projects as it is. But I want some of the C++ I'm doing to be available that people can look at and reference with what I'm talking about. For instance, the string serialization code. But then there's some stuff I do want to keep proprietary. And so I was like, oh, I'll self-host it because GitHub is stealing everything. But I don't know if I want to put the time and effort into maintaining a secure self-hosted environment, or I need to do more research before I go that route. I don't have enough time today to do that because I gotta hop off here soon. I'm gonna be babysitting. So now I'm looking at self-hosting at least the runners. That is not as big of an issue because if this goes down or whatever, I don't have to stress about backups because my code lives in the cloud. We recommend that you only use self-hosted runners with private repositories. This is because forks of your public repository can potentially run dangerous code. Gosh, darn it. Are you kidding me? All right, that makes sense, but I gotta pee. I'll be back. I'm gonna go crash out while I pee. I need a DMZ. I think that would solve all my problems. Demilitarized zone. Self-contained network that has internet access where I can keep fun software projects, not have it touching anything that has like personal data on it. That would be fun. That would be like a network playground, if you will. All right. So I think for now, I probably need to put a little bit more thought and research into this. I mean, we did successfully get a GitLab instance up and running. It can be accessed on my network. I could just keep it on my network. The big issue is just the giving access to others to look at the code and be able to follow along. Not today. I'm probably, honestly guys, I'm probably gonna hop off here in a minute. It's getting close to babysitting time. Um, so this was a good experiment, I guess, with my wireless KVM and getting Linux up and running. I mean, technically now, what I can do is if I'm in a Linux mood, I can just pull open a browser, hop into this environment, almost like a VM, but more powerful, and have Linux. Now you will see that there is a mouse delay here. So you'll notice that, but otherwise, it might be hard to know if I'm actually on Linux or not, or if I am in a browser. I don't know. All right, I will continue to chew on this thought. I'm still not opposed to that Cloudflare tunnel option. And yeah, but I still want to do some C++ every now and then. I'm not really like I'm doing some C++ with Briarthorn, but not a whole lot because a lot of it's just QML. And speaking of Briarthorn, I have added guns. So now you can shoot bullets, spray bullets for closer dogfighting combat. Again, I'm still just kind of tossing some ideas in here. I'll eventually clean this scenario up. See what sticks, see what I don't like, that kind of thing. Because I am running into an issue where like eventually you get too close to each other to use missiles, but you still want to engage. And so that's kind of what I'm figuring out now. So I'm trying out these bullets. Kind of fun. But yeah, that's where that's at. I'll keep plugging along, see where I get. But I think I am calling it here for now. I intend to be on tomorrow unless work wears me out. So I hopefully will see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for following along with my experimentation. I'm going to continue to do so, and I will catch you guys later.